I want you to pay special attention to how we calculate tip in this problem. The last time we worked on tip, we calculated the tip on the post-tax amount. Post means after tax is added. Today, we're working on calculating the tax off of the pre-tax amount, so before tax is added. Some people, when they go to a restaurant, they give the waiter or waitress a tip on the total after tax is added, so the post-tax amount. Some people give the tip off of the pre-tax amount. For the EOG, you have to be ready to calculate the tip off of the subtotal or on the total after tax is added. And you have to just read the directions and it will tell you what you're going to calculate this on. Let's go ahead and begin this problem. Melanie, Andrea, and Peyton visit UNC to start thinking about where they want to go to college. At lunchtime, they decide to eat at the Mediterranean Grill. Melanie orders the lamb and beef gyro for $8.99. $8.99. Andrea orders the traditional falafel for $7.75. And Peyton orders the lamb shawarma for $9.99. I probably said that wrong. Melanie and Andrea each order a Turkish coffee for $3.50. And it says they each order it, both Melanie and Andrea, so I'm going to multiply that by 2. Peyton orders the Moroccan mint tea for $3, so we have to add that to the bill. And then they each order baklava for dessert for $2.99 a piece, so $2.99 each. So Melanie, Andrea, and Peyton each get a piece of baklava. So I need to multiply that by 3. The tax is 6.75%. They leave a tip, a 15% tip on just the meal, so the pre-tax amount. So I've totaled everything, so let me go over to my calculator. Take a look at what I typed into the calculator. These were the 3 meals, and then this was for the Turkish coffee. I multiplied that by 2, because 2 of them got the coffee. That's the $3 for the Moroccan tea, and then I also multiplied the $2.99 times 3 because they each got a dessert for $2.99. So the total comes to 45.7, and with money you need 2 decimal places, so I'm going to write this as $45.70. 0.7 means 70 cents. And that is the subtotal. So that's the total pre-tax before tax is added. Now we're going to figure out the tax. So I'm going to switch to a different color. And the tax is 6.75%. So we write 6.75%, and then you think 6.75% of what? We're taking a percent or a part of what? Well, you have to pay tax to the government on the total purchase, everything that was purchased. And everything that was purchased is that $45.70, which is the subtotal. So you're taking 6.75% of the subtotal, or you could say of the $45.70. Next, I'm going to change that percent, 6.75%, to a decimal. So I get rid of the percent sign, and then the decimal I already see. I just need to move it 2 times to the left. I place a 0 here in that empty space, and 6.75% is equal to 0.0675. So then I go down here and I type 0.0675 of is the same, like in math it means multiplication, of the 4570, and that will give us the amount we spend or they spent on tax. When I multiply 0.0675 times the 4570, this is the value that I get, so I'm going to copy that and then paste it. And I'll make it just a little bit larger so we can work with it easier. With money, we need the tenths place and the hundredths place. So we're rounding to the hundredths place. The decision maker is the 4. It is either going to stay $3.08 or it's going to increase by 1 cent and go up to $3.09. 4 or less, you let it rest, so it stays the same at $3.08. So the tax is $3.08. To figure out the total after tax is added, you just add the tax to the subtotal. So we add these two values together. So we get $48.78. $48.78. And now I'm ready to calculate the tip. It says they leave a 15% tip on just the meal, so the pre-tax amount. So I've highlighted both of these, the pre-tax and the post-tax amount. We have to apply the tip to the pre-tax amount because that's what it says in the problem, to apply it to the pre-tax amount, which is the subtotal. So for the tip, I'm going to write 15% of the subtotal. So 15% of the $45.70. Next, I'll change the 15% to a decimal. So we get rid of the percent sign, and then I don't see a decimal. And we have to remember that 15 is the same as 15.0. So the decimal is right here on the end, on the right side. Then to change the percent to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 times to the left, which is the same as dividing 15 by 100. And 15% becomes 0.15 or 1500ths in decimal form. So then I multiply 0.15 times the 4570 to figure out the tip. So when I multiply 0.15 times the 4570, I get a tip 6.855. So I'll copy that and paste it, and then make it a little bit larger so that we can round it. With money, you need 2 decimal places. That's why we round to the nearest hundredth. So the tenths place is the 8, the hundredths place is this 5, and then this 5 to the right of the 5 is the decision maker. It's either going to rest at $6.85, so it'll stay $6.85, or it will become 1 cent larger, $6.86. 5 or more, you let it soar. So this is going to soar up to $6.86. So the tip on the pre-tax amount is $6.86. And then finally, to figure out the gross amount, and gross means the final or the total, we're going to add the total after tax. So this is with tax already applied. So the tax is already applied to this. So we add this and the tip to get our final amount. So that final total with the tax and the tip applied is $55.64 in all.